Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the Athletics franchise here on MLB The Show 24, where we're ready to get into the post-All-Star break portion of the season. We got a long, juicy episode today, because we have 3 series to get through. Before we jump into the first game, there were a couple of trades that took place during the All-Star break that I do want to highlight. As the first one was the Cardinals acquiring Jose Miranda from the Nationals for Christopher Nixon, a closing pitcher prospect. Cardinals are the top team in the NL Central, and they try to get some more help here with Jose Miranda, who's a very good hitter against lefties, had a great season with the Nationals, and they cash in by trading him to St. Louis for Nixon, the 19-year-old from Texas, who is a very good prospect, the number 28 in all of baseball. So a win-win for both sides. Then we get into the next trade, which doesn't really look like a win-win for both sides. The Mets acquire Colton Cowser from the Angels for Alberto Rodriguez. That's the lesser of the two trades, because the Mariners acquired Jackson Merrill from the Padres. We'll start off with the Mets trade. Colson Cowser goes to New York. Cowser is a very good player. Good move for the Mets, who are still trying to contend this year, but set themselves up nicely for next season, while Alberto Rodriguez is the return for the Angels, who's spent a couple of seasons in Seattle before that. Been a pretty solid hitter. But the big deal is Jackson Merrill going to Seattle. Mariner, in my opinion, has been one of the best up-and-coming players, and he's found his stride in San Diego. Well, now he's in Seattle, he's in our division, and the Padres are going to get back Emmanuel Rodriguez, who's not a bad player, but not as good as Merrill. So a little bit of an interesting move there for the San Diego Padres. We're going to make a move ourselves before the second half of the season, but it's not a trade. We're going to call Lawrence Butler up to the Major League squad. I want to audition some more players in the second half of the season, and Butler hasn't had a Major League swing in 2 seasons, but he's played good at AAA in the meantime in Las Vegas, so I think he deserves another chance here. So we're going to call up Lawrence Butler. He'll get the start today. And in response, we're going to send down Sammy Ciani, not because he's played bad, but just because I need the room. I'm sure Ciani will back at the Major League level at some point this season. So now we get into the first of 3 games we're going to watch today. This one at Minute Maid Park. The 30-66 Athletics play the 52-46 Houston Astros, who are 2 games back in the American League West, a very competitive division. And they're going to see Dauri Lorenzo make his Major League debut today at second base. The 24-year-old will be the starter. As on the mound for the Astros starting pitcher is Michael Kopech, the former Chicago White Sox, now in Houston on a 2-year deal. And he'll be getting in Zach Geloff as we are ready for the first game of the day. And Geloff will start this one by hitting it deep to right field at the track at the wall, but it's going to be caught by William Sullivan. Loud out number 1. We'll take a look how the A's will line up today. We'll see Robbie Martin up next, followed by Ryan Noda, Tyler Soderstrom, the All-Star Jacob Wilson. Yes, he got the nod. Shortstop will be Logan Davidson, Lawrence Butler in right field, Elliot Ramos now the full-time left fielder, and then Pedro Pineda at center field. Also, if you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. As Robbie Martin up next will single into center, as Martin's been arguably the best hitter on this team this year. He's got us with a runner on first base now for Ryan Noda. And on the first pitch, we'll hit a fastball. And this one will split the gap and be trouble. And one hops off the wall. Martin's already heading home. And it's going to be an RBI double for Ryan Noda. The bats start off hot. It's 1-0 Athletics, the 16th double of the season for Noda. Soderstrom up next will swing and miss on a changeup. So that's the second out of the inning. Runner on second here for the All-Star Jacob Wilson. Hasn't put up All-Star numbers this season, but comes through in an All-Star way here as he singles up the middle, scoring another run. It's 2-0 A's. Hopefully the All-Star nod was enough to get the confidence in the bat of Jacob Wilson. I'd like to see his bat improve even more. So now 2-0 A's as Davidson will fly out to end the first, but a very successful start to the ballgame as we give a 2-run lead over to Paul Blackburn, who has not been that great this season. Free agent at the end of this year, you got to wonder how much longer his Athletics tenure will be. Corey Julks will start off for the Astros after a brief stint last year with the Orioles. He's back in Houston, and he will start off by flying out to Lawrence Butler. We'll take a look at this Astros lineup that's very talented. Jeremy Pena, the shortstop. Yordan Alvarez having an MVP-like season in left. Yainer Diaz, the catcher. Ryan McMahon at third base. Vinny Pasquantino at first. Chas McCormick at center. William Sullivan at right. And the debuting Lorenzo at second. No Kyle Tucker in the lineup. Maybe he's dealing with a little personal issue. Not entirely sure what the deal is there. Not that I'm complaining. As after Jeremy Pena strikes out, Yordan Alvarez will hit this one deep to center. And Pineda will give it a dive. but he misses. And that's going to be a 2-out double for Alvarez, the now 5-time All-Star with a double. He could be an MVP of this season. His 25th double of the season. Diaz tasked with bringing him home, and he won't be able to as he flies this one into the outfield grass, where Geloff will make the play. Go top 2 now as Lawrence Butler makes his first at-bat of the season. It's going to be a walk, so he'll take first base. OBP at 1,000. As Elliot Ramos up next with the first pitch. Will hit it over to second. Lorenzo flashes the leather as he turns 2. Great defensive play by the debut player. That's 2 down now for the Athletics, which will bring up Pedro Pineda, who has not had a good season since becoming the center fielder after the Ruiz trade. But on the first pitch on this at-bat, he's going to take a curveball into right center. Kopech hung a breaking ball, and Pineda's going to make him pay. That's going to be a 2-out double for Pineda, his 6th double of the season. He doesn't have many hits, but I feel like when Pineda does get hits, they are good ones. So they'll turn it over to the top of the lineup. Geloff up next will hit this one into right field, and it will drop in front of Sullivan. That's going to be an RBI single for Geloff, and the A's extend their lead here 3-0 after a couple of 2-out hits. Martin trying to keep the inning alive. He misses a slider he probably should have hit. But the A's now lead 3-0 as we go bottom 2. But Ryan McMahon's looking to change that. He hits this one well to right, and it's a home run. A solo shot here for Ryan McMahon will get the choo-choo train going. His 14th home run of the season. And now the Athletics lead's been cut. It's now 3-1, still in favor of the A's. Bottom 4 now, 1 down for Yainer Diaz, and he's going to rope this one to left center. And this one's way out of here. And just like that, the lead is now 1. Another home run on the day for the Astros. This time, Yainer Diaz's 15th of the season. Goes 4-12 off of the tracks, and you can hear the choo-choo train going. It's now just a 1-run lead for the A's. Paul Blackburn seems to be costing us. Going to the bottom of the 5th now, Josh McCormick leading off for the Astros, and he's going to rip this one into right. And Blackburn's shaky day continues. This will be a leadoff double for the Astros center fielder. And they're in business here in this inning. Next up will be William Sullivan, the rookie 26-year-old, as he hits this one over to first. Noto will put him away, but it will move the runner to third. So a big spot here for the rookie Lorenzo. Struck out his first at-bat here on the first pitch. He'll hit it up the middle for a base hit. And that's going to tie the game. The Dominican Republican native with an RBI single, his first hit of his career and his first RBI coming the same at-bats, and it's a big one as he ties the game back up at 3. Now Blackburn still has to get through the inning. Corey Julk's up next, and he hits this one to left, but it hangs up far enough for Ramos to catch it. 2 down now for Jeremy Pena, the American League leader in triples this season, and he draws a walk. That's a big walk. It's 2 on now for Yordan Alvarez. You do not want to walk the batter in front of this man. Double back in the first, the 2-time playoff MVP with a chance here to give the Astros the lead. 1-1, it looks like he might do just that. He hits it into center. They'll send the runner home. There will be no play, and it's 4-3 Astros off the bat of the 3-time Silver Slugger. Still trying to get the final out as Diaz, and he will, but Blackburn has blown a 3-0 lead through 5 innings. As we'll go into the 6th now, the Astros with the lead, so they're going to bring in their all-star reliever and Hunter Brown, named for the first time this season. He's been very good out of the pen for the Stros. 108 innings already. That's a lot out of the bullpen. He'll start off with Tyler Soderstrom, and he begins the day by walking Soderstrom. So he'll put him on first base for Jacob Wilson with a 3-1 count. Then he's going to hit it up the middle. 6-4-3 double play. That's the 4th double play of the day the Athletics have grounded into. They begin hits, they've just been then turning 2 on us. 2 down now for Logan Davison, who will sky this into left. Easy play for Alvarez, and it's an unconventional 1-2-3 inning in the 6th. We'll go into the bottom of the 6th now. Blackburn will get the first 2 outs, but we'll bring in Mason Miller now after a double to try to strand the runner on second. It's William Sullivan up, and Miller will do just that, striking him out. So we'll go into the bottom of the 7th now. Miller still on the mound. Lorenzo leads off for the Astros, and he rips this one to right, and it's way out of here. Into the second deck, Dory Lorenzo with his first career home run in a big way. 448 feet. What a debut for this young man. The offense and the defense on full display. This is what the Astros are getting. Watch out for Houston. 5-3 now as we'll go into the top of the 8th. Dylan Coleman in for the Astros, trying to set up the 9th inning. He's not been very good this season, though, so hopefully we can take advantage. Geloff up first, though, will swing and miss on the slur for out number 1. Robbie Martin with a 2-2, and he'll suffer the same fate. Can't hit the slur. So quickly 2 down for Ryan Noto. He's had a good day today. A double, a single, an RBI, and a 2-for-3 stint. He is not going to strike out as he swings at the first pitch, but he will fly out to center field, which makes this a 2-run deficit going into the 9th inning, where the Astros will bring in their new closer, the former Chicago White Sox Garrett Crochet, as the Astros seem to have ransacked Chicago in the offseason. 25 for 29 on save ops this year, as he's got a 2-run cushion. He'll have Soderstrom up first, who hits this one into left, and that will be put away by Jordan Alvarez. Jacob Wilson now, the all-star third baseman, and he gets underneath the fastball, skies it over to first. Pasquantino will grab it, and now the final out will come down to Logan Davidson. 1-0 pitch here to the shortstop, trying to keep the game alive, and he gets underneath the fastball he could have drove. Skied for the former Twin Pasquantino, and that will end this game. The Astros win by a final score of 5-3. As the A's got off to a hot start, but just couldn't keep it up. Blackburn had another very bad day on the mound. The offense just started to hit into double play after double play, it seemed like. I mean, we had 8 hits, so it's not like we weren't getting our runners on base. We were just quickly eliminating our runners on base. Astros also had 8 hits, but they had 5 runs. Kopech the win, Blackburn the loss, Crochet the save. And player of the game will go to Dauri Lorenzo. What a debut for him. A night he will surely remember for the rest of his career. After this game, there was another trade that went down. The Padres acquired Evan Marin from the White Sox for Will Vest, and now I feel like I understand why the Padres traded Merrill, because they just traded Will Vest for a top prospect. No idea what the White Sox are doing. Vest is a free agent at the end of this year, and he's not been very good in San Diego. And they just gave up Evan Marin, a 20-year-old outfielder, as the 28th best prospect in baseball. I guess the White Sox are just going to White Sox, because that makes no sense for Chicago. We lose the second game 5-0 in a complete game shutout from Houston. As not a good start for Jared Jones. And then we go into the Saturday games. A big one in the AL West, and the Texas Rangers will walk off the Mariners. They were down 4-1 going into the 8th, and the Rangers will rally back and win it. On the Saturday night game, it's the Cardinals who blank the Guardians to playoff contenders. Cleveland needs to get their act together. I think they're a very good team that could go deep if they make the playoffs, but they run the risk of missing it. Another trade will go down as Seattle's being very active this year, going all in, trying to make the postseason. They acquire Edmundo Sosa from the Blue Jays for a prospect, as they will continue to add to their offense. It's our first day to sign draft picks, and we're going to get one on the first day. Dan Shepard will sign, so we get the lefty starting pitcher, who is our second-round pick. But on the same day, we lose to the Astros 4-0, as the Astros have back-to-back complete game shutouts against the Athletics. Waldichuk pitched pretty good, just no run support in this one. So we get swept by the Houston Astros, as we'll stay in the state of Texas to face the 57-44 Texas Rangers. And this is a Rangers team that is currently 57-44, leading the AL West, while we sit 30-69, playing our 100th game of the season. The Rangers will send Tanner Houck onto the mound, the righty making his 21st start of the season with a 3.71 ERA. Been pretty good since coming over a couple seasons from the Red Sox. He'll start off with Zach Geloff on the first pitch of the day, takes a splitter into right center, and it's going to clear the fence. The short wall out there in right center gives way to a Geloff solo shot to begin the day, and on the first pitch, the A's have the lead. 5th home run of the season for Geloff. Power numbers down this year for Zach, but this will help his case. And the Athletics lead 1-0. So with a lead out already, that'll bring up Robbie Martin with the first pitch that he sees. He'll chop this over to third, where a tough play will be made by Josh Young. And we'll take a look at the Athletics lineup today. Similar guys as you saw in the previous game. Noda, followed by Soderstrom, Jacob Wilson, Logan Davidson, Lawrence Butler yet to record his first hit of the season. Elliot Ramos in left, and then Pedro Pineda out in center field. This team dead last with runs scored this year. Ryan Noda up next with a 2-0 pitch. We'll hit this one over to second, where it will be played by Duran. So 2 down now for Tyler Soderstrom, and he will pull this also to Ezekiel Duran. But the A's get one here in the first, and they'll turn that lead over to J.P. Sears, a lefty, making his 20th start of the season with a 4.44 ERA, as he currently will take the mound, starting off against Leody Taveras, leading off here for the Rangers. And the center fielder will ground this one up over to Davidson, who will make the play. We'll take a look at this Texas lineup. Currently first in the division. Got a lot of good hitters, followed by J.P. Crawford, Evan Carter, Josh Young, Adolis Garcia, Yandy Diaz, Ezekiel Duran, and Miguel Vargas. And the newest familiar face from the Texas Rangers, Jonah Heim, back behind the plate. That'll bring up J.P. Crawford in the midst of a 12-game hitting streak. And on his first at-bat, he will extend that hitting streak, as the former Oriole will single into center field. That'll crank his numbers up to 13 now. Pretty respectable for Crawford. They'll bring up Evan Carter as he pops this one up into foul territory. Jacob Wilson will get underneath it for out number 2. Josh Young up next now with a 2-2 pitch. And Young will go shopping in the gap. A big hit here by the third baseman as it rolls all the way to the wall. Pineda will get to it, but that's going to be an RBI double for Young. And just like that, the Athletics have given up another lead. It's just now tied at 1-1 off of the double from Josh Young. Dallas Garcia up next as he smashes this one on the ground over to Wilson, and that will end the first as both teams score one in their first frame. Top 3 now. Here's Elliot Ramos leading off for the A's as he goes down on strikes. The splitter low will get him. Actually, he doesn't go down on strikes. Yeri Rodriguez will come in out of the pen. Actually, there was an injury there to Tanner Houck, so hopefully he's okay. And Rodriguez actually finished the at-bat by walking Elliot Ramos. So a change of plans here for the Rangers. That'll bring up Pedro Pineda, who skies a fastball in the center. It's going to be caught by Taveras as Ramos will track back to first base. Top of the lineup now, Zach Giloff. He also draws a walk. Good eyes. The fastball misses low. So 2 now on for Robbie Martin, who strikes out on the changeup. We'll say he went around. They'll bring up Ryan Noda up next with a full count. Pitch runners are going, and he's going to pull back in time. So Rodriguez will walk. The bases loaded. Not the best start coming out cold out of the pen for Tyler Soderstrom, who has a huge opportunity to give the A's a big lead here. First pitch to the catcher. He turns on a fastball, but he skies it up. And this should be an easy play for Yandy Diaz. And the A's blow a good opportunity here in the third. We'll stay with them. Top 4 is Logan Davidson on with 1 out as he draws the 4th walk from Rodriguez. That'll bring up Lawrence Butler, who gets a fastball in on the hands, and he will fly this one into center as he's still yet to record a base hit this season. Next up will be Elliot Ramos. Walked in his first at-bat, 1-0 pitched here, and Ramos will tattoo this one deep center field, and this one's way out of here. A 2-run shot from Elliot Ramos, whose bat is finally starting to come around in his career. The numbers are improving. It's the 2nd home run of the season. 451 is the feat. And the Athletics are back out in front. They lead 3-1. Go bottom 4 now. Adolis Garcia will quickly answer to lead off the frame with a solo shot of his own. This one belted into the upper deck. As Adolis Garcia, the 2023 AL playoff and MVP, will hit his 15th home run of the season. And, well, that'll cut the lead in half. As soon as the Athletics get a lead, the pitching continues to struggle. It's now 3-2 in favor of the road bomb team. That was definitely a Texas bomb. Josh Sborz will then come into relief in the 5th for the Rangers, making his 20th appearance of the season. He's been very good out of the pen for Texas with a 2.84 ERA. He'll start with Logan Davidson, who chops it right back to him. Nice reflexes as he records the first out. Lawrence Butler still looking for his first hit on the first pitch, and he will ground it over to short. Going to be a tough play, and he'll beat out the throw. So Butler will get his first hit of the 2027 season here. Now off an infield single. Ramos up next, coming off of the home run in his last at-bat, but he strikes out here. So now 2 down for Pedro Pineda, who's hitless on the day, and he will swing through a slider. And good inning for Josh Sborz. Abner Uribe then out of the pen for the Athletics, making his 42nd appearance. It has not been a good season for Uribe, but he's out of options. So we kind of have to ride it out with the young man. He takes the 6th. The Sears goes 5 in line for the win. But Uribe starts by walking Yandy Diaz. Gonna bring up Ezekiel Duran, who looks at a 100-mile-an-hour pitch. That's called strike 3. Miguel Vargas up next. He swings on an inside slider, and that's back-to-back Ks for Uribe. Just got to get through the newest Ranger, Jonah Heim. He was just with the Rangers. He signed a big contract with the Red Sox in the offseason. Well, he's already back in Arlington, so an interesting development for him. A familiar face for us as he will fly out to left field. And Uribe will get through the 6th, no problem. Into the 7th we go. John Curtis with 2 S's will come in for the Rangers. Not been a good year for the righty with a 7.31 ERA. He'll start with the top of the lineup, and Zach Geloff up first, who hits one up the middle for a base hit. Zach Geloff had a very good day today as he will single into center. I'll bring up Robbie Martin up next. He has a 3-0 count, and Robbie's actually going to get the green light. Shouldn't have swung at the pitch, but he's going to actually bloop it into right field, so it's a hit nonetheless. Good piece of hitting from Martin, even though he shouldn't have swung at it. Now 2 on for the Athletics. We'll bring up Ryan Noda, who gets a good fastball, but he's a little behind it. He's going to sky it high for the 4-time Gold Glover Jonah Heim, who records the first out. With that, they're actually going to pull John Curtis. They want the lefty-lefty matchup, Burke versus Soderstrom, as they play the odds. 1-2 pitch to Soderstrom, and he swings wildly the slider. So 2 outs now. We'll bring up Jacob Wilson, the All-Star. This is the righty-lefty matchup for the A's, but it doesn't matter because he swings and misses. And a good inning for the Rangers. Bottom 7 with 2 down. Here's Evan Carter up for the Rangers, and he'll hit this one through the right side of the infield for a base hit as Uribe trying to go through 2 innings. He's 1 more out. Here's Josh Young up next, and Young will hit a slider deep to center field. Pineda's back, but he runs out of space. It's a 2-run bomb for the Rangers. Josh Young goes deep, and they have the lead. Our bullpen again blows another lead this episode off the 18th of the season for Young. Wasn't a bad pitch, though. I will give Uribe that. But another blown lead nonetheless. 4-3 now in favor of the Rangers as Mason Miller will then be called in relief as he gets the 8th inning, starting off with Yandy Diaz. And Diaz will hit this to right, but it hangs long enough for Lawrence Butler. Ezekiel Duran up next, first pitch, and he skies it up over to Logan Davidson as this will be the 2nd out of the 8th inning. Trying to go 1-2-3, the DH Miguel Vargas up next with a 2-0 pitch, and Vargas will rip it over the glove of Jacob Wilson, and the former Los Angeles Dodger acquired back in April in the trade will have his 2nd hit of the day. It's a 2-out double. So Jonah Heim, the former Red Sox now, back with another chance. Is the first pitch he sees. He grounds it up over to Geloff, and that will end the 8th inning. But we go into the 9th now. Rangers up by 1. They're going to turn it over to their closer, the righty TJ Antone, out of the pen for Texas to try to shut the door on this Athletics lineup. He's 23 for 30 on save ops this year. Hasn't been necessarily the best. He'll start off against the number 9 hole Pedro Pineda, but Pineda draws a walk. Good job getting on base here. There's a tying run already on first. That'll bring up Geloff, a perfect 3 for 3 on the day. He will rip this into left, and it's going to get down for a base hit. That's going to be a double for Geloff, but more importantly, for the first time since 2007, the Athletics have a cycle hitter. Zach Geloff hits for the cycle today. Last guy to do that in the A's uniform was Mark Ellis. So history made today. We got to win this game, and Robbie Martin's just loaded the bases. Can Noda deliver with a 3-0 count? He gets the green light, and he does. The Athletics will tie this one up at 4, and the bases are still loaded. 8th blown save of the season for Antone, but now we want to try to take the lead. They're going to bring in the righty Ken Mays, the former Brewer, to try to get out of this jam. With the bases loaded, nobody out, and Soderstrom at the plate. 1-2, and he swings and misses on a curveball, and he can't do that. It puts the double play in order as Jacob Wilson takes to the dish. First pitch, and he will hit this one up the middle for a base hit, and our All-Star comes through clutch. It's a 2 RBI single for Wilson. The Athletics lead 6-4 here in the 9th inning. Clutch hitting from the All-Star as that'll bring up Logan Davidson up next, and he's going to go shopping in the gap. Fastball lands into the outfield grass. 1 run's going to score. They're going to wave the 2nd one home, and he is going to be safe at the plate. It's 8-4 Athletics. All of a sudden, they have broken this game wide open. Lawrence Butler gets his 2nd hit of the day, and another run will score. The Athletics put up 6 runs here in the 9th. They lead at 9-4. Elliot Ramos now up next with an 0-2 pitch, and finally the hit train will come to an end as he strikes out swinging. So 2 down as we bring it back to Pineda, who started the inning, and he will pop this one up into the outfield grass, so he will end the inning as well. But the Athletics now lead 9-4 going into the 9th inning They have 2 down. Mason Miller still on the mound, but Josh Young is going to do something about this. A 2-run shot deep into left field. The second home run of the day for Josh Young, as this one's now a 9-6 ball game. The 19th home run on the season for the third baseman. And, well, this is now a 3-run lead. Despite it only being 1 out, we're still going to give Tony Santillan a chance to close it down. He has not been very good this season, but he only needs 1 out here in this game to get his 13th save of the season. He'll start off with Adolis Garcia, and he walks him. So, okay, game stays alive. Diaz up next, 1-2, and Diaz is going to poke this one into the outfield grass, and that's going to land fair. Butler will cut it off as he gets to it. Runner will be waved home. The throw is not going to be in time. It's an RBI double for Diaz. And now the Rangers within 2. The tying run at the plate, Ezekiel Duran, and he's going to go shopping in the gap. Diaz is going to score. It's going to be 9-8, and all of a sudden, the tying run is at second base. We just need 1 more out. Santillan has got to get it. It's going to be Corey Seager in to pinch hit for Vargas, and we want nothing to do with him, so we'll give him the intentional walk, which will bring up Jonah Heim, a chance to do something here in his return to Texas, as Daniel Mateo will pinch run for Seager. 1-1 to Heim, and Heim is going to put this one into the outfield grass in front of Ramos. Runner's going to be waved home. There's not going to be a play, and the Rangers bring it back down to their final out, down by 5, and they tie this one up. Another blown save for Tony Santillan. Joe Barlow now called to get the final out, as he doesn't even record an out. He has Leo Taveras, and he does just that, but all of a sudden this game is going to extras. What the heck has happened here at Globe Life Field in the 9th inning? Chris Clark in for the Rangers to try to strand the runner on second. He'll start off with Zach Geloff with an 0-1 pitch, and Geloff will chop this over to short. But the runner's actually going to try to go to third, and he's going to be put in a pickle. Bad base running by Pineda, and he's going to be tagged out. That's a big out because the extra inning runner is now nullified. That'll bring up Robbie Martin up next, and he'll single into left field. So another base hit for him, as he is now 2 on with 1 out. Ryan Noda 0-2 count, and he will swing through a curveball, and just like that, it's now 2 outs for Tyler Soderstrom. 0-for-4 on the day, as he has a 2-0 count here, and Soderstrom will deliver as he singles up the middle, and the 2-time All-Star will come in clutch as he does score the run after all. It's now 10-9 Athletics, so they get the run the unconventional way here in the extra innings. As Jacob Wilson up next will hit this one into right field. Runner's going to be waved home. Throw from Garcia is a perfect one, and they get Martin. So the Athletics, off a couple of base-running bunders, only have a 1-run lead. And with the first batter Barlow faces, Evan Carter's going to rip it to right center, and this is going to walk the game off. A 2-run bomb for Evan Carter, and this game is over. The Texas Rangers win it 11-10 in an insane finish here in Arlington, Texas. I know I mentioned in the recap episode that I feel like the pitching's got a bad rap this season, but I changed my mind. This was abysmal pitching today from the staff. They have been awful since the All-Star break. We blow this one here despite being up with 5, just needing 1 more out, and we lose the game. Both teams had 14 hits, 11 runs for the Rangers, 10 for the Athletics, and we drop another game. This team truly is awful. Game 2, we lose 7-4. Another bad pitching performance as Robbie Francisco gives it 3 earned in an inning and a half to get the loss. Butler does go deep, though, so that helps him out. And then we go into the third game. Before we get there, we have to highlight our Tuesday game as the Yankees face the Phillies in a potential World Series preview, and Philadelphia does get the win of 4-2. As actually after this game, a couple of trades go down. As you can see here, Chad Green acquired from the Blue Jays for a prospect. This is a typical deadline trade that makes sense. The Cardinals in the hunt for the NL Central. They acquire another bullpen arm. He's been pretty decent the past couple of seasons. In order to do that, they sent Jackie Tyner back to the Blue Jays, a 19-year-old center fielder who currently is the 91st ranked prospect in all of baseball. Going into Game 3, we lose this one 6-4 in extras as Kyle Muller blows this one. As we get swept by the Rangers, as the bullpen has just been absolutely terrible since the All-Star break, and we get swept again. Another trade goes down as the Tigers will acquire Genesis Cabrera from the Mets. So the Mets will give a reliever back to Detroit in return for a prospect. So that'll send us into the third game this episode. Yes, it's already been 30 minutes, but we're going to watch another one as we play host to the San Francisco Giants here at Sutter Health Park. Another edition of what I guess used to be the Bay Bridge Series, as the now 30-72 Athletics play host to the 59-45 San Francisco Giants team, firmly in the wild card playoff race. We have a chance here to hopefully get a win against our former rivals. On the mound for the Athletics today will be the former Giant, Jared Jones, who we acquired in a trade this year. He hasn't been the best for the Athletics, making his 11th start of the season. CJ Abrams will lead off for the Giants, and with the 1-2 pitch, he will chop this over to third, where Wilson will put him away for the first out of the inning. We'll take a look at the Giants in the third game of this triple header. Stephen Kwan up next, who has a 4.1 WAR, having a sensational season. Hans Hammer Longballo at right, Wilmer Flores at first, Will Brennan the DH, Wyatt Langford at center, Blake Sable at catcher, Nick Senzel at third base, and Esteury Ruiz getting the start at second base. Here is the All-Star Stephen Kwan as he misses on the fastball, so Jones will put him down. That'll bring up Hammer Longballo, who on the first pitch he sees rips it into center field, and the former Super Mega League star has himself a base hit. That'll bring up Flores up next, and he has a weak dribbler, but it gets through the infield, and the Giants have back-to-back base hits with 2 outs. Will Brennan the next batter, and he walks him, so Jones has got himself in some trouble here. Bases loaded for Wyatt Langford with a 2-1, and he skies it over for Geloff. Got scary, but that will be a 0 spot in the first. On the mound for the Giants will be the lefty Carson Wisenhunt, who's coming to his own here in San Francisco. He's been a long reliever for most of the year, but he's gotten the chance to be a starter, and he's delivered thus far. He starts off his day with Zach Geloff, who grounds it over to his former teammate in Ruiz, and that will be the first out of the first. And we'll take a look at the Athletics lineup today. Going up against a lefty, so a little bit different. We'll see Robbie Martin up next, who hit .380 in the past month. Great month for him. Ryan Noda, Tyler Soderstrom, Nick Allen get the start at short, Jacob Wilson, Pedro Pineda, Clark Elliott in right today, and Elliot Ramos out and left. Here is the super hot Robbie Martin, who fouls one away, but it's going to be caught by Wilmer Flores. So 2 down now for Ryan Noda with a full count pitch, and he draws a walk, so Noda will take first base for Tyler Soderstrom. 1-1 to Sodi, and he hits this one into left, and this one will be caught out there by Stephen Kwan. We'll go now into the top of the 5th. It's been a scoreless game thus far as CJ Abrams in the top of the lineup is up, and he will start off the 5th inning with a single into center. Despite 0 runs, the Giants have gotten their fair share of hits as now Stephen Kwan gets plunked, and Jones has 2 on to begin the frame. Longballo up next will get jammed. Allen will get back, and he'll make a great over-the-shoulder grab for the first out. Allen, an elite defender, records out number 1. We'll bring up Wilmer Flores, then Jones strikes him out. So settling back in, trying to strand the runners, it'll be Will Brennan, the former Astro, up. Walk back in the first, and on the 2-1 pitch, he's going to do some damage. This one ripped into the left center gap, 1 hops up the wall. This is going to be an easy 2 RBI double for the former Astro, who was acquired back in June, and for Michael Lorenzen, paying dividends for the Giants here. Gives them a 2-0 lead as Langford up next will draw a walk, and Jones struggling to get through the 5th here. So that'll bring up Blake Sable, 1 for 2, singled back in the 2nd. 0-2 pitch to the catcher, and he'll pop this one up into center field, which should end the 5th, but the Giants take the lead with the first runs of the ballgame. Abner Uribe will then come in the 6th as Jones will go 5. Has not been a good season for Uribe. He's tasked here with the 6th inning. Nick Senzel at first, nice swing and miss slider. And that'll bring up a familiar face. Esteury Ruiz will step to the plate. Traded him to the Giants for the pitcher who was just on the mound previously in Jared Jones. Ruiz has been a solid bat for the Giants this season, and it's paid off for them. He has a 2-2 pitch here, and he dribbles this one to Wilson, and Wilson will put away his former teammates for out number 2. That'll bring us to the top of the lineup. CJ Abrams, the 1-1, and he's going to hit this one into right center field. So a 2-out base hit for Abrams, who's trying to stretch it into 2, and he will. So it's going to turn into a double for the Giants shortstop, and a big spot here for Stephen Kwan. 1-0, and Quan gets plunked again. I think that's the second time getting plunked today. And with that, we'll pull Uribe, getting a little out of control. I don't want to keep him in too long this game, so we'll bring in Kyle Muller against the lefty Longballo. 0-2 pitch, and it will pays off as he chops it over to Geloff, and that will end the 6th. The Giants get nothing to add to their lead. We go bottom 6 now, with still scoreless are the A's, as Robbie Martin up, and he'll continue his hot stretch as he hits this one into right field. That'll be a leadoff single. Wisenhut still on the mound. His pitch count only at 60, as Noda will smash the curveball up the middle, and it's back-to-back base hits for the Athletics, trying to put themselves in business. Tyler Soderstrom with a prime spot here. Hitless on the day, 0 for 2, and he rips this one into right. He's hitless no longer, as this will one hop off the wall. 1 run will score. Noda will stay at third, and it's runners on the corners. 2-1 Giants off the RBI single. McGowan, one of our best clutch hitters, up next. First pitch, he ropes it into left, and that's another base hit, and that's another run. The Athletics have tied it up at 2 after a surge here in the 6th, and with that, Wisenhut's day will come to an end. The Giants will bring in Sixto Sanchez in relief, their long reliever, trying to stifle this all of a sudden hot Athletics offense who've tied it up at 2. Jacob Wilson, the first batter, the all-star third baseman, with a sinker there down the middle as it hits it into right, but it will be caught by Longballo, and they will wisely not test his arm. First out now brings up Pedro Pineda, now going up against a righty, and Pineda gets a good pitch to hit, but he skies it for Sable, and that's going to be out number 2. So 2 down now for Clark Elliott, getting the lefty-righty matchup in our favor, and with the first pitch, Elliott gets jammed on a fastball into left. It goes, and it will drop. With 2 outs, Soderstrom's going, and he's going to score. And it's 3-2 Athletics as they've taken their first lead of the day. Clutch hitting there by Clark Elliott to put it in the left. A good hit for the rookie. Ramos up next, turns on a changeup, hits this one well to left field at the track, but it's going to be caught by Quan. But the A's put up 3, giving them to lead as we go now into the 8th inning, where Joe Barlow will be in relief to set this one up for the 9th. We'll see if their bullpen can actually close it today as we start the 8th by walking Nint Senzel. Not a good start. Ruiz up next, and he's going to try to lay down a sacrifice bunt. Noda will go to second, so at least we'll get the lead runner. So all in all, nothing happens besides an out recorded. But the more speedy Ruiz is on base. That brings up the top of the lineup in Abrams, who grounds it to Geloff. They get Ruiz, and they get Abrams, a 4-6-3 double play to end the 8th inning. Big outs there. As now we'll go into the bottom of the 8th, where Jeff MacArthur, the second-year pro from Cuba, who's had a great season, is tasked with just keeping it a 1-run deficit. McGowan up first, grounds this one over to Senzel, and that will be the first out of the 8th. About Jacob Wilson up next, 1 for 3 day for the third baseman. He's going to make it 2 for 4, and Wilson is starting to swing a pretty good bat ever since being elected to the All-Star game. So he's on first base for Pedro Pineda, and he looks at strike 3. Fastball in the corner. Good pitch by MacArthur to get him looking. Elliott, who had the clutch hit last at bat, can't hit the fastball here. So we'll go into the 9th with a 1-run lead, and Tony Santillan will get the chance, despite blowing a 3-run lead with just 1 out to go in his last opportunity. He's got the 2, 3, 4 hitters here as he gets Quan first to ground out. Good hustle by Santillan. Long ball up next, first pitch. Oh, a pitch he should have hit. But he just grounds it over to Geloff, and the Giants down to their final out in the form of Wilmer Flores. Can we get the save? Flores rips it to right field, and this one's caught by Elliott, and that will do it. The Athletics finally get their first win of the post-All-Star break portion of the season off of a 3-2 victory at home here against the Giants as we beat our former Bay Bridge Series rivals. Santillan, good job out of the pen today. He got 3 up, 3 down as the Athletics win. 3 runs on 11 hits. The Giants had 2 on 9. Muller gets the win. Wisenhut gets the loss. And Santillan records his 13th save of the season. And he will also be named your player of the game, thanks to his 1 inning of work. So we get the win here against the Giants. A good start to the series as we have some trades afterwards. And the Phillies are getting busy, specifically at second base. They traded away their starting second baseman, Bryce Terang, to the Rays. An interesting pickup for the Rays, who, despite their bad record, are not fully selling at the deadline. Phillies do, I think, downgrade at second base. They get the veteran Brandon Lau from Tampa Bay, but they do add to their bullpen. So Philadelphia will get some help in also the form of Jason Adam, who's put together a pretty good season at the age of 35, looking to get a World Series ring. Phillies, though, not done. They acquire second baseman Christian Arroyo from the White Sox. So Philadelphia looking to retool second base and improve in other parts of the diamond. That's a pretty good World Series contender move. We win Game 2 as well, 5-3. Lawrence Butler goes deep. He's putting together a solid stretch here, up to 250 on the season. So we take the first two against the Giants. As the Saturday games, the Dodgers destroy the Cubs, 13-4. The Dodgers are one of the best teams in the NL, while the Cubs have had a very disappointing season. And then in the other game, the night game, the Diamondbacks beat the Yankees, another potential World Series preview. And the Yankees dropped this one against the best team in baseball. The Diamondbacks now at 70 wins on the season. Game 3, we do lose 11-3, so we get blown out in this one. Sears had an abysmal start. 6 earned, only recorded 1 out. Francisco wasn't much better, though. 5 earned in 5 innings of work. Then we got some more trades, including the biggest one thus far. The Dodgers have acquired Luis Robert from the White Sox. Robert was the hottest name on the market going to the deadline, and he's dealt a week early to the LA Dodgers, who are not content being second place in the West, and they get the biggest name out there in Robert. He's a free agent at the end of this year, and the White Sox did give up the Dodgers gave the White Sox a pretty big haul to acquire him in 3 solid young players. Catcher Dalton Rushing, the 25-year-old, who's coming into his own, putting together a pretty solid at-bat season. He's in Chicago. Also to the south side, Max Clark, who was acquired from the Tigers before the season. He's a hot prospect, only 22 years old. Also going to the south side. And then Noah Miller as well, who's going to make his Major League debut soon. Goes to Chicago. He's the 90th best prospect. And the White Sox did a very good job retooling their farm system. They have 8 top 100 prospects thanks to a couple of trades. So we also go into signing draft picks, and it's been a holdouts, but we finally get Will Williams. We had to offer him $3.06 million. I think maybe that's some of those attitude things we've seen. He demanded way more money. But we do get Will Williams, so he will be an Athletic. Also, our top pick, Bartolo Ayala, agrees to a $6 million bonus. So Ayala, the number 9 overall pick from the University of Miami, who could get into the bullpen right away, signs. That's 2 big sort of signing bonuses. We don't have as much money. We do sign Jason Tipre as well as we start to get these picks signed. Also overpaid for him, as now we're down to our final 3 with only 6 days to go, though. Not sure if we'll get all 3 of these guys signed. But that'll bring us to the end of this one. It's been a long episode. Next episode, we'll stay at home for a 3-game set against the Cubs as well as against the Orioles. As we covered a lot of ground in this episode, the next episode we got a lot of ground to cover as well because it'll be the trade deadline. We'll see what happens around the league. With Robert going, though, the top name is off the market, so we'll see what the other teams have in mind as well as the Athletics. If you guys enjoyed this one, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.